Hello and welcome to Session 11, Enhanced Reports for User Experience in Power BI. I'm Andrew Conniff, a Microsoft technical trainer specializing in data and AI, and today we will explore the journey of data analysis using Power BI, and we're going to dive right in. In this session, we will cover report navigation and filtering, adding report elements and bookmarks, and drilling through to other visuals, and when to use paginated reports. Report navigation is the way in which report users move from one page to the next, move from one visual to another, and go back to where they started from. Report navigation is very important because if users cannot easily find their way around your report, they'll become frustrated and have a negative experience. We can enhance this navigation experience with the use of conditional formatting. A slicer is a type of visual that allows users to segment the data in the report by a specific value, such as by the year or geographical location. The slicer narrows the portion of the semantic model that is shown in the other visualizations on the report. We use a slicer to provide quick access to commonly used or important filters, make it easier to see the current filtered state without having to open a drop-down list. We can filter by columns that are unneeded and hidden in the data table, and create more focused reports by putting slicers next to important visuals. Additionally, we can limit queries to the data model by using drop-down list slicers, particularly when using direct query. Syncing slicers allows users to filter multiple pages or specific pages on demand. Filters allow for filtering data in a basic way without adding slicers to the report. Power BI Desktop has a filter pane that handles basic slicer operations. So depending on requirements, this can save time and effort by avoiding the use of slicers and simply using the filter pane instead. This has the added benefit of reducing the total number of visuals on the report, which can lead to improved performance. These images show us the different levels that a filter can be at. So we have visual filter, page filter, all pages, as well as the type of filtering, basic, advanced, top end, and relative date or date-time data types. Power BI provides many button and shapes to choose from, and the actions are assignable. The options for the button action types are the following: back, which returns the user to the previous page of the report, useful for drill-through pages or pages that are accessed from one main page. Bookmark presents the report page that's associated with a bookmark that is defined in the current report. Drill-through brings the user in a drill-through experience to a page that was filtered to their selection without using bookmarks. And page navigation brings the user to a different page within the report, also without using bookmarks, which is an effective way to create a navigation experience for your report users. And the Q&A button opens the Q&A Explorer window, which allows users to type questions and quickly find information. A web URL button opens a website in a new browser window. Bookmarks capture the currently configured view of a report page, allowing a quick return to the view state anytime. Bookmark examples include keeping track of progress when creating reports, showing and hiding visuals, creating PowerPoint-like presentations that go through the bookmarks in order, telling a story within your report. When you add a bookmark, the following elements are saved within the bookmark: the current page, the filters, the slicers, and sort order and drill location. Selection allows us to determine what items in the report are visible and what items are hidden. Selections are used alongside the bookmarks and buttons. The layer order reflects the layer ordering on the canvas. The first listed visual is on the topmost layer. The last listed visual is on the bottommost layer. To change the order, drag and drop a visual to another place on the list, or select a visual and use the arrow buttons to move it up or down. The selection pane also has an appearance indication for each visual in the list, but it isn't possible to change the appearance in the mobile layout view. This must be done in the regular desktop layout view. Tab order helps keyboard users navigate the report in an order that matches the way users visually process the report visuals. If including decorative shapes and images in the report, remove them from the tab order. Drill through is another useful feature for report navigation and layout design. This is different than drill down, which only goes up or down within a hierarchy on the same visual. We use drill through feature to create a page in the report that focuses on a specific entity, such as a product, category, or region. Then we access the page when drilling through from a related visual on other pages in the report. The information that displays in the drill through page will be specific to the item selected on the visual. In this example, the drill through has already been configured. Let's step through the user experience. So first we see that we hover over the United States large blue column and it says country, region, category, sales, and a note to the right to drill through. Now we have right-clicked and selected the drill through page, product details. The table visual now shows bikes for the header because it's the category and then the subcategory and the added and additional details. Now that we have the drill through settings, we keep all filters on, and the filters from the initial visual, category equals bikes, country, region equals United States, and year, FY 2020, which was from the slicer. Paginated reports are ideal for creating sales invoices, receipts, purchase orders, and tabular data. Use paginated reports when expecting to print the report on paper or as an e-receipt or a purchase order or an invoice. Let's go to Power BI and see this in action.
Here we can see our report page that we have built. And what we want to do is sync up some of our items and make our report work. So if I select central, you see that we get the filters populating through on this page. And if I select the year, you'll see also the data has changed. If I go to the next page, you'll see that it follows for both. So if I change this here to France and go back, you'll see that France is now selected here. There's no data here to show, but it is selected. If now I go to the year and I go to my performance, we'll see that it's 2018 and I can go to 2019. We go back to the overview. We can see that it is now 2019. How did we make that happen? We have our sync sliders. So in our view page under sync sliders, we see that we can, this little two arrows indicate that they are synced together. So if I wanted to unsync them, I would check these boxes and they would work independently. So if I select the other slicer, you'll see that they are mapped to different pages. And there's a little bit of hinting there that shows because they both have the slicer on that page. So this slicer is linked this way and that slicer is linked the other way. Some additional formatting that we can do is if we want to drill down, put this on some values where we know things are going to show up, and I want to drill into some data, but I don't want to show the page. So how I can do that is I can add a hidden page. So first what I'm going to do is just add the page and then we'll hide it. We're going to call this one product details. And then to hide it, it's as easy as context clicking and marking it as hidden. All right. Now the next step is going to be to add something to drill through on. So in our drill through, I'm going to add product category and we don't have anything selected. So I'm going to put bikes though, because this is going to be our bikes drill down. Now you'll notice up here, we have a button that's going to take us back. So this is a hidden page. We can't navigate to it, but we also want them to be able to navigate back once they arrive here. So to say what's going to be here, let's go ahead and add a card and we'll just make this look nice. And we're going to put category in there as well. We want bikes. And what we don't want here is the category label. And let's give this a different color for the background and make it look nice. All right, the next thing we want is a table. So we would not have to, but we would like to display some data in our table. Let's make that fit right there. So for the values that we want our product subcategory color. So subcategory color, and we notice it's going to be a little small. So we're going to have to make that a little bit bigger. And then under sales, we want quantity, sales, and profit margin. So quantity, sales, profit margin. Excellent. And of course, we need to format this. And we have our font, right? And then we have our header. That'll look nice. All right, that fits rather well. Now, the next thing we want to do is make this easier to read at a glance. So I can go to profit margin and I can add some conditional formatting. In this case, I'm going to put some icons in, and I only want to set these values this way. And I want it to go to the right of my data. All right, so I'm going to change some of these. So I'm going to set this to min, put this to 0, and I'll set this to 0 and make this max. For my rules, I'm going to say field value. And this won't work with percentages. So we're going to make all of this based on the number value because that's what we have. And we've removed our errors and we can see that we will get some icons. Let's take a look. There we go. Very nice. Now, the next thing we want to do is give an indicator for color, and we can add conditional formatting. And we don't have to actually program this, but I can do the background color. And if you'll remember, what we have is our product has a formatting background color. We say, okay, it's picking it up from our background color. Now our designers have also given us a font color. So let's provide that as well. Font color, field value, same thing here. We're going to product and use the provided formatting. So we don't need to be designers, font color format. Okay. And now it's very readable. Save our progress. And when we land here, we can select the items we want and we can tell at a glance what's going on. Now we want to add some bookmarks and possibly some buttons. So we're going to go to our performance page. We have some room over here. We want to add buttons. So to add a bookmark, we're going to add bookmark number 1. We're going to add bookmark number 2. So this is going to be bar chart on. And the next thing we want to do is for our bar chart, we want to remove part of the filter. So we want to override what's happening. So go in here, we'll uncheck data. There, we have that configured. We have to update the buttons. This is as expected. So in the bar chart, there we go. We want to hide this one and update our slicer. There we go. And that's going to ignore the filtering data. We'll be able to use our slide buttons as is. So we want to now make both visuals visible in the selection, and we want to resize and position both so they fill the page beneath the multi-card, and we're going to add a button. So we just want to make sure that we have room here in the selection filters. So we'll make them both visible, make sure that they both fit. There we go. Now we're going to add some buttons. We can go ahead and that's going to be an insert. We look around here, we have text boxes. I'm going to do button, and I'm going to do a blank button. I drag this down here, set that there. And I just copied and pasted and created another one. And we're going to make one for our bar chart. So let's select the first one and turn on the text. Bar chart. We have our font color. We can turn the fill on, select the fill color. And we can use a color of our choosing. Get done with our styles. In our action, we're going to turn on actions so that we can link this button to something. And we're going to say bookmark and bar chart on. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to set our text on column chart for fill, turn that on, choose the same color so it looks nice. Go to actions, select the bookmark, and we'll now select our column chart. If we control click, and we can move around and everything stays as it is. And that brings us to the end of this demonstration.
This concludes our session. There are many ways to continue your learning journey. We encourage you to watch other videos in this course or search out your next favorite topic on Microsoft Learn at aka.ms/learn.